this morning on Erie News Now. 7 jurors now set to serve on former President Donald Trump's hush money trial. We'll detail the fight over who gets to sit in judgment and why the judge scolded the former president in court.
Plus, tax days come and gone, but you may still be owed a refund. We've got new details on the millions of dollars just waiting to be claimed by Pennsylvania taxpayers. Find out if any of that cash could be yours.
Yeah, so how are you sleeping these days? A new study shows Americans are coming up shorter on sleep than ever before. And we'll go live for a look at what's behind our sleep shortage and how to make sure you get your Z's.
It's all coming up on this Wednesday, April 17th edition of Erie News Now Sunrise.
With coverage you can count on, welcome to Erie News Now Sunrise.
May not be the most typical wake-up music to get you going on a Wednesday morning. Little Beastie Boys to roll into the skyview shot of the city of Erie. Welcome into Erie News Now Sunrise. Starting off in pretty comfortable fashion as you look at that skyview shot. Temperatures already in the mid-50s, so that is a good start to the day. But we've got a little perhaps nasty stuff making its way in a little bit later on today. We'll talk about that with AJ in a sec. But first, welcome into your Wednesday morning edition of Erie News Now Sunrise.
Yeah, it's a great way to wake up when the temperatures are this comfortable walking out the door at least.
Yeah, certainly. And Mark, I drove by Lakeview Golf Club yesterday, and I did not see your car.
No.
Where were you?
I was at a different golf course.
Oh, okay, there we go. Maybe you actually were there at some rate. But
Yes.
It was a gorgeous day yesterday, kind of 2 straight days to start off the weekend. But with that high pressure on the backside, typically we get some stormy activity, and that's kind of starting us off for this morning. So we got some scattered showers here through the daytime ahead here for our Wednesday. But as we head for tonight, that's when we'll start to see potential for some stronger storms push into the region. We've actually been upgraded by the Storm Prediction Center to that marginal risk for severe weather as we were kind of expecting to see. But as you can see behind me, the shower is already appearing with our Doppler Max. Live look down there on the Bayfront, Oliver's rooftop, 60 degrees our temperature, so we're already above our average high for this time of year. We got some red, some yellow to contend with through the rest of the day. I think we'll see more of these kind of scattered showers out and about, but we head for the evening, that more kind of pronounced line will be pushing on through. Severe thunderstorm potential for everyone as we continue into this evening. More information on our weather aware day can be used by just scanning that barcode there. If we take a look at Doppler Max, there are already some showers in western Erie, western Crawford County, pushing into the Meadville area. These will be brief, but likely we'll see more kind of off and on through these morning hours. Temperature 60 into Erie, same deal Meadville, 51 Jamestown, 48 out into Bradford. Those winds are coming in from the southeast, about 10-15 miles per hour, so a little more breezy than what we saw yesterday. Take a look at the rest of the daytime ahead. Showers, few showers, actually a decent amount of sunshine here through the afternoon, but that storm threat grows as we head for our dinner time and beyond. We'll have more new forecasts coming up after those top stories.
Yeah, we'll begin in Manhattan, where the first group of jurors has been sworn in and seated for former President Donald Trump's criminal trial. The judge there says opening arguments could start as soon as Monday.
Yeah, Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts related to accusations that he financially schemed to hide an alleged affair with an adult film star ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Former President Donald Trump took his fight against Manhattan's DA from the courtroom to a corner store, the site of a highly publicized fatal attack just 2 years ago that led to criticism of the very same man prosecuting his case.
It's a rigged trial. Our courts, everything is screwed up in New York.
The stop comes as the jury for Trump's hush money trial is taking shape. 4 men and 3 women were seated Tuesday. Among them, a nurse, a teacher, and 2 lawyers. Kara McGee is one of dozens who were excused.
It's someone you've seen as this huge public figure for so long, and you walk in and see him, and he's just a guy.
While one potential juror was being questioned, Judge Juan Merchan heard Trump audibly uttering something and chastised him, saying, "I won't tolerate that. I will not have any jurors intimidated in this courtroom."
This judge is so conflicted.
Outside the courtroom, the former president repeatedly slammed the judge.
He's rushing this trial, and he's doing as much as he can for the Democrats.
Trump also bristled at the requirement to attend every day of the trial, while his 2024 opponent, President Joe Biden, campaigns.
I should be right now in Pennsylvania, in Florida, in many other states.
5 more jurors and half a dozen alternates still need to be selected. Trump has denied the allegations he falsified business records. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
All right, question for everybody here as we now about 4 minutes past 5 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. How have you been sleeping? It's been, about a month since maybe the clock shifted, and that can certainly impact folks' sleep. But if you're feeling tired these days, you're not alone. A survey found that a majority of folks say they feel like they could actually benefit from a little more sleep.
Our Megan Solinsky spoke to a local sleep expert to learn more about how we can get a better night's rest. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Well, let's take a look at what that survey found. A Gallup poll actually talked to Americans and asked, do you think the number of hours of sleep you get at night is as much sleep as you need? And that's what that green line here shows. Back in 2013, it was a little more than half. Well, now less than half of Americans actually feel like they're getting that sleep that they need it. Well, the follow-up question was, do you think you'd feel better? And they said, well, yes, we do think we'd feel better, but we're not doing it. There's even more data that they shared. They asked which age groups they broke it down to on their website. This is where all this data is coming from. And the lowest age group being this 34% here, Americans 30 to 49 years old, only 34% of them saying that they're getting enough sleep at night. So I asked Dr. Amy Parenti what she thought of these results, and she said she's not shocked.
Michigan University professor Amy Parenti specializes in sleep. She tells us that restful sleep is crucial for memory consolidation as well as body rehabilitation.
And truthfully, if there was an important function for sleep, it probably would have evolutionarily gone away. But the fact that we are super vulnerable, we're not eating, we're not reproducing, we're not finding food, all those things, clearly there's a purpose for it.
Parenti says if you find yourself tired and not getting enough sleep at night, there's several different things you can try.
I think everybody is familiar with needing to set an alarm to wake yourself up in the morning, but nobody thinks about the importance of setting an alarm to say it's time to go to bed.
Today, our artificial lights and buzzing notifications have taken over our nighttime, a time when the sun is down and it should be dark and restful. Parenti says this constant exposure causes us to not get tired as easily.
So when you are exposed to light for long periods of time, it suppresses melatonin production, and then that delays your body's willingness to go to sleep.
Well, you may be tempted to grab that melatonin or other sleep aids to help you sleep. Well, Dr. Parenti has some advice on whether or not you should be doing that, and we'll talk more about that at 5:30. From the studio, Megan Solinsky, Erie News Now.
Thanks, Megan. As taxpayers and tax preparers unwind after another filing season, there's new word this morning about more than $1 billion in unclaimed tax refunds set to expire in just a few weeks.
Yeah, so you got to get on it. It seems a lot of that money is actually owed to people right here in Pennsylvania. According to the IRS, some 940,000 Americans are eligible for an unclaimed tax refund from the 2020 tax season, and $43 million of those dollars belong to an estimated 38,600 Pennsylvania taxpayers. So, wondering if any of that $43 million is yours? The IRS is encouraging people to check if they did file for taxes in 2020. And if you didn't, they say you should start gathering those records and getting ready to file. Of course, it was the height of the pandemic, so there were a lot of complications from the COVID pandemic that postponed that 3-year filing deadline. It's now May 17th, so you basically have one more month to claim that refund from 2020. The average unclaimed refund for folks here in Pennsylvania, just over $1,000.
It's going to be an extra busy day at a couple local schools. They're getting ready to host job and career fairs today.
Yeah, Erie County's Northwestern School District's hosting a career fair from 8 to 11 o'clock this morning. They say they'll have reps from more than 40 businesses on hand to interact with students.
Meantime, at Mill Creek's McDowell High School tonight, it's their 4th annual job and career fair. And last night, downtown Erie's Experience Children's Museum hosted a job fair themselves. They say as they expand the museum, they're looking for more workers.
We really are proud of growing our workforce and of having high schoolers that we see all the way through high school. In fact, one of our leadership team, she started when she was a baby. She was about 16 when she started, and now she's working in the office as part of the museum. So we really love when high schoolers come in and we can help grow and build them into a great workforce.
You can still apply for those open spots at the Experience Children's Museum. Find out more at erienewsnow.com.
Well, a big group of Erie stakeholders is launching a new initiative trying to tackle chronic homelessness here in Erie.
It's called Housing First Erie. Housing First is a proven strategy that's had success in some other cities. Erie's homeless problem has been on full display in recent years, and those behind Housing First Erie say many organizations do great work daily to help the homeless with temporary beds and, of course, support services. But their data shows that 150 people with the greatest need are not being served. So a host of partners, including Hammett Health Foundation and the Erie Community Foundation, are part of the Housing First Erie project team. Their solution calls for developing a residential building to house 50 people, and they'll also prepare scattered homes around the region to create 100 more permanent places to live. After people have homes, they'll take in wraparound services to them all.
The number one goal for Housing First Erie is to find permanent housing for 150 of our community's most vulnerable unhoused individuals, and it's fairly simple in terms of that's the end goal.
When we heard about a model that has assertive services delivered to that person where they live, we said this is the model we have to embrace. It makes sense.
We'll be hearing more about Housing First Erie at a news conference in Perry Square a little bit later this week.
Right.
And we are in home renovation season, and this could lead to scammers taking advantage of homeowners.
Yeah, so Erie News Now is doing an investigation. Our Elizabeth Meisner is going to introduce us to Debbie Dell later on today. She's a woman from Crawford County who says her home is basically unlivable now. She says she's out more than $100,000 after being scammed by a contractor. And again, she's going to take us inside her home and talk about some of those promises that she says were left unfulfilled. We'll also hear from the folks at the Better Business Bureau, get some advice from them on how to avoid contractor scams as we move through that spring and summer season. That special report from Erie News Now coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight.
And of course, we turn to our meteorologist, AJ Mastrangelo, to see if tonight will be as comfortable as this morning.
Yeah, we're starting off in fairly comfortable territory as far as the temps go.
Yeah, certainly. 60 degrees, not too bad for early to mid-April here in northwest Pennsylvania, but it's kind of a sign of some changing air masses. Remember yesterday morning we had some 30s across the region? Well, it's more humid today, and we'll continue to see those dew points climb as showers and storms work into the region. We're 60 degrees right now with Sarah's Cam, red and yellow bars mixed in. I think we'll see a decent little shower pass through within the next hour or so. We're weather aware as well here for our daytime with a severe potential later on for this evening. Here are our rain chances, 8 a.m. through 2 and 5 p.m. You can see those rain chances pretty much just in the scattered to numerous category here region-wide. So off and on showers, but we head for the evening right around 7, 8 p.m. Those precip chances do peak into the widespread category, and that's when we're expecting that line of storms to work on through. So your bus stop forecast, scattered showers this morning, 58 for that pickup. Some spots could be a little bit warmer. As we head for drop-off, we're up to 70, actually a little bit more sunshine, peaks of it through the afternoon, and lowering rain chances. However, of course, those rain chances will go up once we head for our dinner time and beyond. 72 Conneaut, 70 into Erie. A little bit cooler across the interior. We're seeing nice southerly winds today, so that means the lakeshore will see the warmest temperatures for the afternoon. We'll have a full forecast update, timing out those evening storms. That's coming up right after the break.
Also coming up, one group's mission to improve Lake Erie starting up again as spring approaches. That's after the break right here on Erie News Now Sunrise.
Now, first warning weather with AJ Mastrangelo.
Hey Jay, you've been with us for coming up on a couple of years here in the morning show. I thought you kind of knew me. Yes, earlier you were suggesting that perhaps I was golfing out at Lakeview Country Club yesterday.
Crazy.
You know, this guy is not country club material. Nothing against Lakeview.
Oh,
no.
you don't like
absolutely
golfing?
not. No, I'm just saying, you know, a club that would have me as a member. Come on, forget it. No,
Yeah, forget that.
I'm a hacker.
We're not talking
the
about
Ridge. That's where I was golfing yesterday,
Oh,
and it was beautiful
okay. There
out
we
there.
go.
Hoping for maybe a chance to do that today.
Yeah, certainly. And I think we will see a little bit kind of a period of some dry conditions we head for the afternoon. Of course, all the recent rainfall has led to quite a bit of that grass kind of growing. So get the mowers out really these next few days. Going to be relatively soggy weather as well. So we're going to want to kind of get that grass mowed while you can. 64 degrees our temperature yesterday afternoon, 40 for our low. Both those a little bit above our averages for this time of year, and a wide spread in that temperature, a good 24 degrees. We do see that typically with high pressure in place. That high pressure breaks today. We enter a state of kind of more in the way of changes across the region here. We're already starting to see a few showers this morning. We're dry right now on State Street, but the airport starting to report a shower passing on through. South-southwest breeze, 8 miles per hour. Dew point 34. Our pressure has dropped a little bit from yesterday. Take a look at this swirling low pressure right now. We have some prefrontal showers that are continuing to filter into the region. The main cold front is back here, and as this pushes further and further eastward, that's when we'll start to see that severe threat increase, but still quite a bit of time before we get to that. Closer look at the showers this morning, popping up now into eastern Erie County, even some reds and oranges showing up, so a quick brief downpour possible here for these morning hours. As this energy shifts further and further eastward, we'll likely see more of these showers kind of develop through the morning hours. 6, 7 a.m., more of the same. Down to the south, 10, 11 a.m., the showers continue. Titusville, Meadville, out towards the Sheffield, Oil City area. We break into some nice sunshine for the afternoon, so you got those plans. You want to mow the lawn real quick, get it done before 6, 7 p.m., because that's when we'll see kind of this more well-pronounced line work through the region. Damaging wind gusts will be possible with that one too, just based on what we're seeing for potential there for our future radar. We continue into Friday. We do expect to see more of those kind of off and on showers. We clear out, we head for the weekend. We'll talk more about that severe weather risk coming up just after our next break. Let's get right to the 7-day right now. 74 this afternoon, 58 we head for tomorrow. AM shower, a little bit of afternoon sunshine, more showers Friday. We clear out for the weekend. A breezy Saturday, a chilly Sunday. Temperatures a little bit below average, but we work up to 60 by Tuesday. Does come with more rain showers.
It's 5:17 on your Wednesday. As we move through spring, the Sons of Lake Erie, that group continuing their mission here at home, and that is to improve the quality of fishing on Lake Erie.
Volunteers released more than 1 million walleye fry into the bay. Erie News Now, Jamison Hicksonbaugh spoke with the hatchery manager, all to find out more about the hatching process.
At the Sons of Lake Erie Hatchery, volunteers are doing their part to improve walleye populations in Lake Erie. On Tuesday, members of the organization released more than 1 million walleye fingerlings into Presque Isle Bay.
We started out with 1.6 million eggs. We have about an 80% hatch, so we're stocking somewhere around 1 million, a reasonably good hatch.
Each year, the nonprofit receives walleye eggs from the Pymatuning Hatchery. The eggs are stored in jars until they hatch, and volunteers then release the fry into the bay.
I estimate that somewhere with the fry like that, whether it's Mother Nature or from the hatchery, 1 in 10,000 gets to be a legal fish. To be a legal fish, the fry will have to survive 5 years. That's 15 inches.
After a spike in water temperature killed off half of the eggs in 2023, hatchery manager Jack Bach is calling this year's harvest a huge success.
Normal hatch, or in Mother Nature, maybe 40% hatch. We have almost double that. So the hatchery is making a contribution into the bay.
Ongoing efforts to make Lake Erie a fishing destination.
Beginning of the fishing season, hopefully everybody has a great summer and a safe summer.
Jamison Hicksonbaugh, Erie News Now.
This morning on the third hour of today, you do not want to miss our Olympic-sized celebration kicking off 100 days to Paris with some special guests. And we've got our series Life Lessons talking about reigniting our purpose in life. And we're going to mix up some spring cocktails. I'll drink to that this morning on the third hour of today.
Back with you at 5:20 on this Wednesday morning. It's often recognized as a smoker's disease, but the CDC says 40,000 lung cancers each year are diagnosed among people who have never smoked or were just light smokers.
Now, while researchers believe that secondhand smoke is a leading contributor to this, there's also another factor that may be making people sick. Mandy Gaither exposes the hidden cancer danger that may be lurking in your home and how to find it.
In 2018, Chastity Harney was at school when this teacher says she felt a sharp pain in her chest.
When I took a deep breath in, it was excruciating.
The pain was better the next day, but Harney's doctor scheduled a CT scan. She says the results were shocking.
When I walked in her office, there was a chair pulled out and a box of tissues, and so I'm thinking, okay. And she said, there's no easy way to tell you this, but you have two pretty good sized tumors, mass on your left lung.
Harney was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, but she says she's never smoked. Her doctors suspect it was caused by a radioactive gas called radon that can seep into homes and buildings through the soil.
I had no idea what radon was. I never heard radon before.
Researchers estimate nearly 3,000 lung cancer cases in the U.S. are linked to radon.
If you have lungs, you can get lung cancer.
Harney's Dr. David Carbone with the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center says it's important to test for radon in your home. You can get a kit from a state radon office, hire a qualified radon tester, or buy a kit from a hardware store.
So the EPA recommends for sure mitigating to a level below 4 picocuries, but they suggest below 2.
If you have symptoms like chronic cough or shortness of breath, be aware and talk to a doctor. Harney says she was given 6 months to live, but with targeted therapy, she's beaten the odds, surviving this incurable disease for years.
My journey's not over yet, and God continues to use me.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, it looks like we've got rain chances kind of bookending our Wednesday.
Yeah, you know, this morning I woke up, it's pretty comfortable out there, so you sort of think, oh, maybe it'll be a great day.
Yeah, certainly. And yesterday was cold, so you're thinking, oh, it might be a cold day, but and welcome to spring in Northwest Pennsylvania. You get a little bit of everything. It is severe weather weekend. Yes, we do have severe weather to talk about, at least the potential for it as we continue for the afternoon and evening hours of today. So let's take a look at our severe weather outlook. This broad area of yellow, that's our level 2 out of 5, slight risk for severe weather. The green area, that's encompassing much of our region. That's that level 1 marginal risk for severe weather. This was shifted further eastward. I probably said 3 or 4 times yesterday we'd probably tap into this marginal risk, and of course we have been upgraded to that. With it being severe weather week, let's kind of talk about those different levels. So that lighter shade of green we typically see, that means no severe storms are really expected. The marginal risk we're in today, isolated severe storms are possible. That slight risk out towards the Cleveland area, scattered severe storms are possible. But once we get into those upper 3 categories, enhanced, moderate, and high, those are relatively rare for our region, but that's a very serious threat. So today, not expecting a widespread severe weather event, but nonetheless, scattered to isolated severe storms will be possible. Well, more on that local forecast coming up right at 5:30.
Well, it's 5:24 on your Wednesday. The Erie Seawolves back in action on the road. Yeah, of course, defending that Eastern League title against their rivals from Akron, Ohio. We'll get you the highlights. That Wednesday morning sports report is up next.
from the Erie Sports Now team, here's John Leidick.
The Erie Seawolves return to the road after a 3-2 homestand last week. To Akron we go in Canal Park for the first of 6 meetings between the Rubber Ducks and Seawolves on the week. Bottom 2, man on, and Yordes Valdez with his second double of the year. That brings home a pair and a 2-0 Akron lead. Then top Guardians prospect Chase DeLauder. In the third, his first Double-A home run makes it 3-0, just enough to get out. And later in the inning, Joe Lampe serves up his second two-bagger of 2024. His first RBI of the year makes it 4-0 Akron. Top 4 bases loaded for Erie, but Ryan Webb catches Ben Malgeri swinging. Webb 5 scoreless, just 3 hits allowed. 5-0 game of the 8th, and Cody Huff singles home the 6th Akron run as the Seawolves drop the series opener by a 6-0 final. We head to the high school ranks. McDowell and the Trojans hosting Cathedral Prep, and this was a pitcher's duel from the start. Scoreless through the first 2. McDowell, bases loaded, bottom 3, but Maddie Simmerman gets the ground ball to third to avoid trouble. Scoreless after 3. On the other side, Gabby DeLuca dealing gets Emily Dudenhofer. Then McDowell with a runner on second in the 4th, but Simmerman with one of her 12 punch-outs on the afternoon. Top 5 after Prep doubled. DeLuca with another strikeout. Back and forth we go. Simmerman sits down Ava Lockwood, and the Ramblers put a runner on in scoring position. But DeLuca with the answer, getting Simmerman to pop out to center to end the top of the 6th. Bottom 6, DeLuca helping out her own cause with a solo home run to center and a 1-0 lead. Top 7 tying run on first, but DeLuca, her 12th and final strikeout of the game to complete the 3-hitter. McDowell wins by a 1-0 final. That's your morning sports. Have a great day.
This is Erie News Now.
We're weather aware on this Wednesday, AJ, as we talk about a little early morning rain chance and then some more severe stuff, potentially anyway, later on today.
Yeah, certainly. A little bit of fool's gold, too, as we head for the afternoon. That sun will be peeking out. Temperatures will likely be in the low 70s through parts of the region. So don't be fooled by that. We got some morning showers, a few rumbles of thunder to start off. But as Mark was talking about, that storm threat will increase as we head for the evening hours. Our weather aware day continues into tonight. Current temperature down into Meadville. They're Bob Ferrando, WorldCam. You can see a wet South Main and Linden Street. 60 degrees, more in the way of those yellow and red bars kind of mixed in through the rest of these morning hours. The severe threat does remain low through the morning, even though we'll be seeing some of those rain showers passing on by. A couple of lightning bolts down there into eastern Crawford County. Brief downpour just pushed through the Meadville area, pushing through Edinburgh as we speak, and we'll likely see a few drops here into Erie itself, northeast out towards the Clymer area too. A few of those heavier downpours looking to assert themselves. 60 into Erie, 66 out into Cleveland. Lots of clouds and showers to our west, and that's what we'll be experiencing here through the first half of the day. The winds right now blowing in from the east around 5 miles per hour. Those winds become more breezy as we head for the afternoon hours. You can see them south-southeast about 14 miles per hour here noontime. Few showers, peaks of sunshine through the afternoon, but that main storm threat will be right around 7 and 8 p.m. All of those precip chances in the town-by-town high temperatures, that's coming up right after your top stories.
First handful of jurors has been sworn in, seated for former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in Manhattan.
The judge says opening statements could begin as soon as Monday. Trump's pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts related to accusations that he financially schemed to hide an alleged affair with an adult film star ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump has denied all wrongdoing. 4 men and 3 women were seated on Tuesday. 5 more jurors and a half a dozen alternates still need to be selected. Next week, the judge will also hear arguments from both sides on the prosecutor's request that former President Trump be held in contempt for public comments he made bashing key players in the case. They say the remarks violate a gag order placed on Trump during the trial. Court will not be in session today.
All right, as a mom and an early riser, so to speak, I know you've got to potentially have some issues with, getting a good night's sleep at time. And a new survey kind of shows that, you're not alone. The majority of Americans say they could benefit from getting more sleep. I guess who couldn't, right?
I know, but I fall in that age gap where people say you really don't get sleep. Women who are under 50 years old, of course, you've got all the duties that you would know.
Yeah, a lot of pressure for sure.
But Megan Solinsky spoke with a sleep expert locally to learn more about how we can get some better rest at night. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Well, Mark Tracy, let's take a look at some of those data and see which age groups fall where. If you take a look at this chart here from the Gallup poll that was taken, majority of people saying this is about how much sleep that they feel like they're getting. These are the adequate numbers of sleep. This line here, this 34%, is that age group, Tracy, that 30 to 49% of people, only 34% saying they feel like they get enough sleep. So I spoke with our sleep expert, Dr. Amy Parenti, and she said she's not shocked at these results.
Mercyhurst University professor Amy Parenti specializes in sleep. She tells us that restful sleep is crucial for memory consolidation as well as body rehabilitation.
And truthfully, if there was an important function for sleep, it probably would have evolutionarily gone away. But the fact that we are super vulnerable, we're not eating, we're not reproducing, we're not finding food, all those things, clearly there's a purpose for it.
Studies show that our bodies need 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep. To do so, it may be tempting to rely on sleep aids to fall asleep quickly. However, Parenti stresses that these are not meant to be relied on.
Sleep aids are often something that quiets sort of the wrong part of the brain. So it may lull you into a false sense that you're resting, but you're not really allowing your body to have that rejuvenative sleep that it needs.
Well, Parenti says that when the sun goes down, it's time to start thinking about that sleep. Midnight used to be considered the middle of the night, but now for some, they're still on those phones or devices. And coming up at 6, we'll talk a little bit more about how that may be hurting your sleep. From the studio, Megan Solinsky, Erie News Now.
Thanks for that, Megan. As taxpayers and tax preparers unwind after another filing season, there's new word this morning about more than $1 billion in unclaimed tax refunds set to expire in just a few weeks.
Yeah, and it seems a lot of that money is owed to people right here in Pennsylvania. According to the IRS, 940,000 Americans are still eligible for unclaimed tax refunds. It comes from 2020. Yeah, you remember the height of the pandemic. 43 million of those dollars belong to about 38,000 Pennsylvania taxpayers. So you may be wondering if any of that 43 million bucks is yours. Well, the IRS is encouraging people to check if they filed for those 2020 taxes, and they say if you didn't, you should start gathering up those records and getting ready to, in fact, file. And it was complications from the COVID pandemic that postponed the 3-year filing deadline to May 17th this year. So again, you've got that additional month from this morning. They say the average unclaimed refund for Pennsylvanians comes in at just over $1,000. You can find out more about this one by heading to erienewsnow.com.
Now to the story of a local woman who says she's using her struggles with drug and alcohol as an inspiration to help others.
Yeah, she's a Corey native by the name of Erin Harris. Says she's celebrating 3 years, actually, of being sober. Says the battle was difficult at times, and the rehab process involved an hour drive away from her kids because of a lack of recovery houses in spots like Corey. So Perry says she plans on creating one for women in rural communities.
We will offer meditation, yoga, exercise, all of that stuff. I would ideally like to have like a hobby farm, like maybe some chickens or a garden, something for the women to work towards and be proud of.
And yeah, she's going to be celebrating those 3 years of sobriety coming up next month.
So we are in home renovation season, but this could lead to scammers taking advantage of homeowners.
Yeah, we're taking a look at that here at Erie News Now. It's a special investigative report. Our Elspeth Meisner set to introduce us to a woman named Debbie Dell. She comes from Crawford County. Says her home basically is unlivable at this point. Says she's out more than $100,000 after being scammed by a contractor. And later on today, she's going to take us inside her home, show us around, talk about some of those promises she says were left unfulfilled. And we'll hear from the Better Business Bureau as well, getting their advice on how to avoid contractor scams as we move through spring and eventually summer. Again, that Erie News Now special report coming up tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock. Oh, we are now 100 days out from the opening ceremony of the Paris Summer Olympic Games.
So Olympic venues in Paris are getting ready to welcome the world's biggest sporting event this summer. Paris will have 15 competition venues for the Olympic Games, and they'll host 21 of the 32 Olympic sports in and around some of the most iconic monuments. France's capital will also showcase its world-famous architecture, art, and history to the millions of people expected to attend events at the Games. The Olympics will bring together 10,000 Olympic athletes from more than 200 countries. While just weeks later, Paris will play host to Paralympic athletes. And NBC will air unprecedented Olympic coverage of the Olympics. It officially opens up on July 26th. So much to look forward to.
Yeah, and some of those beauty shots of the City of Lights certainly can get you fired up for that. All right, AJ Mastrangelo tracking some rain. It seems to be giving us an early morning wake-up call, perhaps.
Yeah, got to be ready for it, I suppose.
Yeah, a couple of rumbles to start off for this morning. As we continue through the rest of the morning hours, we'll likely see kind of more of those scattered showers, a bit more sunshine for the afternoon. Then as we head for dinner time and beyond, that storm threat will be on the increase. Let's take a live look as we start off this morning out towards the Allegheny River. Still dry into Warren, still under that weather-aware day. Of course, that'll continue into tonight. Our Express Kia Cam, green, yellow over to those red bars. More of the scattered showers and storms making their way into Warren through these late morning hours. Temperature 48 out there, even though it's 60 in the city. Some of the interior locations, especially the place with some dense vegetation, a little bit on the cooler side. Showers and breezy. Weather impacts for today. Some PM sun, evening storms. It's pretty much a timeline alongside with those weather impact indexes. High temperatures for the afternoon, right near 70 degrees here for the immediate lakeshore. Same deal, Edinburgh, 69 into Meadville. A bit of the interior could be sitting in those low to mid 60s. I think we'll see peaks of sunshine through the afternoon, especially for these western areas. Precip chances on the increase. We head for our 5 and 8 p.m. time frame. We got a few showers to start off Thursday, but looking like a generally drier day. We head for Friday, though. Those showers do return to parts of the region. I'll detail that with Futurecast, and I'll have that full 7-day coming up right after the break.
5:39 on your Wednesday. Coming up, yeah, we've been talking about melatonin in connection to that Gallup poll about how Americans are coming up short on sleep. Well, now it looks like melatonin is going to come with some new safety warnings into protecting children. That's in your health news still ahead.
Plus, we'll tell you about a program making sure that anybody with limb differences feels extraordinary. That's next on Erie News Now Sunrise.
now First Warning Weather with AJ Mastrangelo.
Well, we're in the First Warning Weather Center with AJ this morning. I came in, it was pretty comfortable. Now we got a little rain happening. We just kind of have to be prepared today.
Yeah, certainly weather aware at that. So we got some scattered storms and showers through this morning, but I think we'll see some decent sunshine. If you want to have a nice afternoon walk, did you make use of yesterday's sunshine?
I absolutely did, and I'll do it again today.
Yeah, certainly. And we'll see above average temperatures actually once again. We head for the afternoon. The weekend shaping up to be a dry one, but temperatures look to be right around that 50-degree mark. Of course, that 7-day is just on deck. Numbers from yesterday, beautiful sunshine, a few thin cirrus clouds. We're right on the money with that high of 64 degrees, 40 for our low temperature, and those are generally in our average ranges here. We do usually see a lot of change in temperature with that high pressure in place. We did see that on the order of 24 degrees yesterday in the city. Sam Catania painting sky cam, relatively quiet State Street to start off for this morning. Temperature 60 degrees, showers being reported now at the airport, south-southwest wind around 8 miles per hour. That'll increase through the daytime. Our pressure has dropped quite a bit already from yesterday. It's because of the arrival of this storm system here. You can see the center of low pressure just to the south of Minneapolis, extending frontal boundary all the way down here to the south. This is actually prefrontal showers we'll continue to see today, but as more of that cold front surges further eastward, that's kind of the main energy of the storm. It will bring us that severe weather potential. Closer look at Doppler Max this morning, some showers and even some embedded heavier downpours firing into Chautauqua, eastern Erie through the Edinburgh, Cambridge Springs area. More of them are developing off to the west, so just be prepared. You're likely to be getting wet at times through these morning hours, 6, 7 a.m., even into the late morning, 10, 11 a.m. Looks like the primary showers will be down to the south. But as we build more clearing this afternoon, it's going to set the stage for this line of showers and storms as we continue towards 6, 7 p.m. And you can see kind of the bowing nature of this. That's a sign of some very strong winds. And this is a quite persistent futurecast kind of scope that what we saw yesterday really hasn't changed. And when you see consistency with the models like that, it gives it kind of a better opportunity that will likely be occurring. We head through our Friday. We got more of those rain showers. We break into the sunshine. We head for the weekend. Severe weather outlook still under that level 1 marginal risk here. It was newly upgraded yesterday evening. We were saying it likely would be, and that did come into fruition. So we're watching out for those winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and possibly some hail accompanying these storms. 58 we head for tomorrow. Temperatures cooler for the end of the week. Saturday looking like a breezy day. Temperature right near 50. Same deal Sunday, Monday. I think we'll actually see more sunshine tail on the weekend early next week. Showers arrive as we head for next Tuesday.
It's 5:44, and during this month of April, advocates are spotlighting people who have lost limbs or have limbs that are shaped a little bit differently.
Danya Backus introduces us to a special program, and that program teaches children and teens that their limb differences are what make them extraordinary.
What's your favorite subject?
I like math.
19-year-old Ethan and 7-year-old Ramon have a special bond. Despite the age gap, the two share what makes them unique.
He's like fun to me. He's very nice to me and kind.
He's definitely very ambitious. I think a lot more ambitious than I was at that age.
They both were born with left-hand limb difference. They met through a program called CATCH, which stands for Center for the Achievement of Teens and Children with Hands Differences.
One of the challenges of having a limb difference is being stared at, being pointed at, people being afraid that you're in pain or maybe pointing at you or not including you in the game.
Dr. Nina Lightdale-Murick is the director of pediatric hand surgery at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. She created CATCH as a way to extend care and support past surgery.
And the best way to care for them is to introduce them to other people.
It introduced me to a community of other kids like me, and it was great because it gives a sense of belonging, right? I feel like as people, we all just want to be understood and have a sense of belonging.
5 of every 10,000 newborns in the U.S. have some difference in the arm, hand, forearm, or fingers. The sense of community and empowerment CATCH provides reaches beyond the patients.
I realized not to put limitations on him. Whatever fears and things that I have as a mom, don't put that on him. Let's just let them be themselves.
Whether playing the ukulele, piano, or basketball.
It's hard to, but you'll get there.
Through their bond, Ethan and Ramon are reminded that their ordinary is extraordinary. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Coming up, severe weather spawning several tornadoes around Iowa. We've got more on that and AJ's forecast still ahead.
Yeah, a little bit of perhaps some severe weather moving through our area as well. He'll detail that coming up. Yes, we'll talk about those Iowa tornadoes when Erie News Now Sunrise returns. Also, why the folks at United Airlines aren't too happy with Boeing. Yeah, it's all in your national headline check. That's next on Erie News Now Sunrise. All right, now 5:47 on this Wednesday morning. An update to a story that we have been following here at Erie News Now out in Oklahoma. Bodies found back on Sunday. Those bodies have now been identified as two Kansas women who went missing last month.
Tuesday, the Oklahoma Chief Medical Examiner's Office announced that it positively identified the bodies of 27-year-old Veronica Butler and 39-year-old Jillian Kelly. The two women had been missing since March 30th when they drove to Oklahoma to pick up Butler's children for a birthday party in Kansas, and they never arrived. Their vehicle was located abandoned in rural Oklahoma near the Kansas border. Last week, Oklahoma police announced that 4 people were arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and kidnapping in connection with the women's disappearance.
Well, former President Trump was back in court Tuesday. That ongoing hush money trial. The former president pled not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records, all tied to those payments reportedly made to an adult film star at the end of the 2016 election cycle. The court continued with the jury selection process. 7 jurors seated yesterday, so they need 5 more, 6 alternates. They say the trial itself could last 6 to 8 weeks.
Strong storms moved through Iowa Tuesday, spawning several tornadoes. Multiple tornadoes were confirmed in southeast Iowa, and those storms produced damaging winds and large hail. Homes and businesses were damaged, trees were uprooted, power lines were knocked down. The area received anywhere from half an inch to an inch of rain on Tuesday. So far, no injuries are reported.
Yeah, some pretty impressive looking clouds there. United Airlines says it's feeling the impact of Boeing Airlines' ongoing problems. Yeah, the carrier says it's lost $200 million during the first 3 months of the year after Boeing was forced to ground its 737 MAX 9 jets for several weeks. The groundings happened after a door plug blew off that Alaska Airlines plane in mid-flight. United depends on Boeing planes, they say, for about 80% of its mainline fleet.
An armor on the movie Rust was sentenced to a maximum penalty for her role in the fatal shooting on set. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed will spend 18 months in prison. Last month, a jury found her guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the death of Helena Hutchins. Hutchins and the film's director Joel Souza were shot by a prop gun fired by actor Alec Baldwin during a rehearsal in 2021. Alec Baldwin, who's charged with involuntary manslaughter, is set to stand trial in July.
It's a health alert to pass along on this Wednesday morning. Childhood emergency room visits are apparently on the rise because of kids accidentally taking melatonin. Makers of melatonin supplements are now being asked to tighten up their standards. That request coming from a leading trade group for dietary supplements. And they'll have 18 to 24 months to voluntarily add child-deterrent packaging and improve cautionary language on the labels of those over-the-counter products. Melatonin, if you're unaware, regulates the body's natural sleep-wake cycle. But as a dietary supplement, it's not federally regulated. A report from the CDC last month found 11,000 children had to go to the ER between 2019 and 22 after ingesting melatonin while unsupervised.
Caitlin Clark made history in college as NCAA Division I basketball's overall top scorer, and the superstar is now poised to break new records with the Indiana Fever in the WNBA. Clark was selected as the #1 overall pick in the WNBA draft on Monday. Her star status, however, shining a light on a striking disparity between her salary and those of her male counterparts in the NBA. Clark will earn a base salary of $76,500 in her first season. That escalates to more than $97,000 in a fourth year over the 4 years, equating to $338,000 as determined by the league's rookie scale for top picks. In comparison, last year's top pick in the NBA draft locked in a 4-year contract worth $55 million.
Well, you got to figure once those WNBA ticket prices come up, more revenue, more money for the players. Just maybe take some time. All right, the ceremonial flame was lit at the birthplace of the Olympic Games over in Greece on Tuesday. That ceremony, yeah, we saw it yesterday, full of these sorts of ancient traditions, took place in the ruins of a temple over in Olympia. Actor Mary Mina asking the sun god Apollo for help in lighting the flame. I got a little weird at times, I got to admit. This was then carried in an urn to the ancient stadium, given to a torchbearer, along with an olive branch. The ceremony launches a 68-day torch relay set to culminate in Paris, July 26th.
I think it's so neat to watch all the traditions unfold through the entire process.
Bring me the action. Let's get to the games itself.
Ready?
Yeah, the flame, it's all great.
Oh, see, I love opening ceremony.
Yeah,
I just love all of it.
All together, yeah, we've got it all covered, I think. AJ's got to look at that first morning forecast. I know he's got our rain chances and our severe weather chances covered.
Yeah, certainly. We have seen already some showers and a few downpours to start off for this morning, but the main threat will be later on for this evening. That's where we could be seeing some severe thunderstorms, a line of them pushing into the region. The greatest severe risk does lie off to our west. Weather impacts showers and breezy throughout much of this morning. We head for the afternoon. That breeze continues. We actually could see the sun peek on out, but it's only going to allow those evening storms to kind of come with a little bit more in the way of some energy. Let's take a look at Doppler Max right now. We got some heavier downpours just north of Interstate 86. The Corey area, brief little shower and another band of showers pushing through Union City, going further eastward, but they are developing off to the west, so be prepared. Bus stop, your morning dog walk, you're likely going to need a little bit of some rain gear. That umbrella definitely will be helpful. 70 today, we head for tomorrow, 58, morning shower, bit of PM sunshine. Friday, more showers, more clouds expected. The weekends when we start to clear on out. A breezy Saturday, a sunny Sunday. Temperatures right near 50. We're 54, we head for Monday. 58 as we head for our Tuesday. But of course, all eyes are on for this evening. The First Warning Weather Team has you covered with severe weather coverage you can count on. More on your local forecast will be coming up right at 6 a.m.
Thanks, AJ. Coming up, a little boy with big dreams helping his local police force out for a day. We're going to introduce you to this kid cop after the break on Erie News Now Sunrise.
All right, countdown to 6 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. This is a pretty remarkable story, all about a super baby apparently turned community hero. A 6-year-old boy battling a serious heart condition joins his hometown police force with one goal in mind.
Yeah, to help people. Stephen Romo shares this inspirational story.
Who's going home? The first 6 years of life have already been tough for little Kiwan and Ruin.
When he was actually born, seeing what he was going through, I was thinking like he wasn't coming out the hospital no time soon.
Born with a rare heart condition called hypoplastic right heart syndrome, which affects cardiac blood flow. He spent his first few years in and out of the hospital.
15 to 20 surgeries, but procedures of going under and everything over 58.
How has this been for you guys as parents to deal with all this?
Honestly, it was a really rough journey. We were all sleeping in the PICU on pull-out beds and waiting surgeries, or if we just turn around to go home to get rest, we're getting rushed right back.
But despite the hard road he's already faced in his young life, Kiwan's family says his passion has always been to ease the pain of others.
I want to help people.
After hearing his story, the Village of Linwood Police Department near Chicago decided to make his dream come true, making him an honorary officer.
How does it feel to be a police officer, Kiwan?
I'm definitely excited. He's been talking about this since he was 2 years old. He wanted to be a police officer.
With the help of the mayor, the department organized a ceremony to swear in the 6-year-old. Kiwan taking his job very seriously.
To make sure everybody buckles their seatbelt every time we're in the car. And he makes sure the child safety locks are on.
And safety first.
And safety first.
Soon he'll get to go on patrol with friends and siblings, spreading his enthusiasm and desire to help around the community. And he's already managed to score a second job. Next month, he says the Linwood Fire Department will let him take a spin on their fire truck.
I want them to beat the horn.
Stephen Romo, NBC News.
We'll beep that horn. Question is, which is cuter? Just Kiwan's smile or Kiwan in that police uniform?
All of it. Him smiling in the police uniform. And the only thing that could be cuter is maybe him smiling in a firefighter's hat next.
We'll hopefully get an update on that when he does take that trip in the fire truck. But yes, a very cool story right there.
That's very cool. What a great way to start the day.
Yeah, and let's get you outside. This may be not a great way to start the day as we check out our Mill Creek Mall tower cam. We have seen a little rain roll through. I don't know if it's coming down at the mall right now, but our radar screen looks like it might be a little bit wet out there as you head out the door right now. And more stuff potentially headed our way a little bit later on today. Yeah, we are weather aware on this Wednesday. Our AJ Mastrangelo will explain that first warning forecast check. All your top local news stories are just about 1 minute away.
Lily Broadcasting, continuing to stand with the people of Ukraine.
Possible. Here this morning on Erie News Now, 7 jurors now set to serve on former President Donald Trump's hush money trial. Yeah, we'll detail the fight over who gets to sit in judgment and why the judge scolded the former president in court.
Plus, tax day is come and gone, but you may still be owed a refund. We've got new details on the millions of dollars just waiting to be claimed by Pennsylvania taxpayers. Find out if any of that cash could be yours.
Yeah, so how are you sleeping these days? A new study shows America's coming up shorter on sleep than ever before. So we'll go live for a look at what's behind our sleep shortage and how to make sure you get your Z's.
It's all coming up on this Wednesday, April 17th edition of Erie News Now Sunrise.
With coverage you can count on, welcome to Erie News Now Sunrise.
Hey, good morning, everybody. No, it's not Brooklyn. It's actually Erie's Bayfront. A live look for you on this Wednesday morning from our live camera down along the waterfront. Yeah, we're looking at the possibility of some rain both to start our day and then maybe some nastier stuff later on today. So we're weather aware as we wake up on this Wednesday morning. We thank our Kyle McLean for getting us that live shot from down on the Bayfront. Welcome in, everybody. Mark, Tracy, and AJ, glad you're starting off your Wednesday with us and hoping that you're going to be able to stay dry, but it might be a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, grab the umbrella and hopefully we'll get some sunshine a little bit later this afternoon.
Yep, and we'll see Prenty, actually. Temperatures above average for today as well. We're already waking up. It's around 60 degrees, so that's warmer than our average high temperature for this time of year. But as we've been talking about, that shower and that storm threat will be on the increase. We've already seen some wet weather to start off here for our Wednesday morning. Those showers continuing, especially for eastern parts of the county. There are more developing off to the west as well. The rain chances will be increased through the morning hours. We'll break into sunshine for parts of the afternoon, but then as we head for dinner time and beyond, that's really when that storm threat and that severe weather threat will be on their increase. We'll talk more about that coming up after the break. Oliver's Rooftop starting off this morning. I can't really tell if it's raining out there, but there have been some returns on our radar. Our Doppler max, 59 degrees, our temperature. Yellow bars continuing through the morning. One red bar there at 1 p.m. I really think the predominant precipitation here will be over the coming next hours. Let's get to our weather aware day. Severe thunderstorm potential for everyone as we continue into the evening hours. If we take a look at Doppler max right now, we got more of these showers gaining a little bit more steam into western Erie County, eastern Ashtabula, so a steadier rain trying to overspread the region. Heavier downpour south of the Erie area, one of them to the north of Jamestown as well. Temperatures 59 Erie, 57 Meadville, 49 out into Bradford. A little bit cooler across the interior. Those winds 10-15 miles per hour out of the southeast, and we'll continue to see those winds kind of ramp up a little bit second half of the day. More sunshine noon and 4 p.m. That storm threat increases as we head for the evening. Well, more in your forecast coming up right after those top stories.
And we'll begin in New York City, where the first group of jurors has been sworn in and seated for former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in Manhattan.
The judge says opening arguments could begin as soon as Monday. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts related to accusations that he financially schemed to hide an alleged affair with an adult film star ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump has denied all wrongdoing. 4 men and 3 women were seated on Tuesday. 5 more jurors and a half a dozen alternates still need to be selected. Next week, the judge will also hear arguments from both sides on prosecutors' request that former President Trump be held in contempt for public comments he made bashing key players in the case. They say those remarks violate a gag order placed on Trump during the trial. Court will not be in session today. New this morning, President Biden is headed to Pittsburgh today, and we start with a live look at downtown Pittsburgh this morning, where the president will meet with workers and speak at the United Steelworkers Union headquarters this afternoon.
Yeah, looks like a live shot from up on Mount Washington of the Steel City. The president's visit comes on the heels of the company's stockholders voting last week to okay that nearly $15 billion merger with Nippon Steel. Yeah, Japan's biggest steel maker. The folks at U.S. Steel say the vote was overwhelmingly in favor of approving that transaction. The president Biden says he's committed to maintaining strong American steel companies powered by American workers. The company's CEO, meantime, says U.S. Steel will keep its name and remain headquartered in Pittsburgh. All right, question for you is perhaps you're waking up at just past 6 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. How have you been sleeping? And apparently if you answer not enough, maybe you're not alone. A new survey found that a majority of Americans say they would like to benefit from maybe getting a little bit more sleep.
Yeah, it would be nice. Our Megan Solinsky actually spoke with a sleep expert right here in our region to learn more about how we can get some better rest at night. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Well, Mark Tracy, let's take a look at some of this data. This is a survey done, it's a Gallup poll, and it found that more than half of Americans say that they need more sleep. There's 2 different lines here. This green line is now, this past year, finding only 42% of Americans saying that they got as much sleep needed. And this other line here, this blue line, saying that people would feel better if they got more sleep. That's almost 60% of people saying that they need to get more sleep, but more than half not doing so. I asked our sleep expert, Dr. Amy Parenti, what she thought of this data, and she said she's not shocked at these results.
Mercyhurst University professor Amy Parenti specializes in sleep. She tells us that restful sleep is crucial for memory consolidation as well as body rehabilitation.
And truthfully, if there was an important function for sleep, it probably would have evolutionarily gone away. But the fact that we are super vulnerable, we're not eating, we're not reproducing, we're not finding food, all those things, clearly there's a purpose for it.
Parenti says if you find yourself tired and not getting enough sleep at night, there's several different things you can try.
I think everybody is familiar with needing to set an alarm to wake yourself up in the morning, but nobody thinks about the importance of setting an alarm to say it's time to go to bed.
Today, our artificial lights and buzzing notifications have taken over our nighttime, a time when the sun is down and it should be dark and restful. Parenti says this constant exposure causes us to not get tired as easily.
So when you are exposed to light for long periods of time, it suppresses melatonin production, and then that delays your body's willingness to go to sleep.
Well, you may be tempted to grab the melatonin or other sleep aids to help you get that needed rest, but coming up at 6:30, we'll talk about why Dr. Amy Parenti says you might not want to do that. From the studio, Megan Selensky, Erie News Now.
Thanks, Megan. As taxpayers and tax preparers unwind after another filing season, there's new word this morning about more than $1 billion in unclaimed tax refunds set to expire in just a few weeks.
Yeah, so the tax deadline pressure is ramping back up right now. This is actually good stuff because it could be free money. It seems a lot of it's owed to people right here in Pennsylvania. This all comes from the IRS. They say about 940,000 Americans are eligible for unclaimed tax refunds. Yeah, all dating back to 2020, really during the height of the pandemic. And $43 million of those dollars belong to about 38,000 Pennsylvania taxpayers. So if you're wondering if any of that $43 million is yours, the IRS is encouraging you to check to see if you filed those 2020 taxes. And if you didn't, start gathering up those records, getting ready to file. Yeah, it was complications from the COVID pandemic that postponed the 3-year filing deadline to May 17th here in 2024. So you got one more month to get it all done from today. The average unclaimed refund for Pennsylvania, as they say, is just over $1,000.
It's going to be an extra busy day at a couple local schools. They're getting ready to host job and career fairs today.
Yeah, out in western Erie County, the Northwestern School District's hosting a career fair that'll go from 8 to 11 this morning. They say they'll have representatives from more than 40 businesses on hand interacting with some of the students.
Meantime, at Mill Creek's McDowell High School tonight, it's their 4th annual job and career fair. And last night, downtown Erie's Experience Children's Museum hosted a job fair. They say as they expand the museum, they're looking for more workers.
We really are proud of growing our workforce and of having high schoolers that we see all the way through high school. In fact, one of our leadership team, she started when she was a baby. She was about 16 when she started, and now she's working in the office as part of the museum. So we really love when high schoolers come in and we can help grow and build them into a great workforce.
You can still apply for those open spots at the Experience Children's Museum, and you can learn more at erienewsnow.com.
Yeah, I would imagine a job at the museum would be good for a mom like you because the kids are going there all the time.
Yeah, that would be great.
Just
I
work
love
there
that
and
place.
Get the kids in for free. Hey, anything inside perhaps this morning, maybe later on tonight might be an option for the kids, the families, all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. AJ, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely a great place to go for inclement weather is that Experience Erie Children's Museum. And yeah, a little bit more of some unsettled weather expected for the second half of the work week. It begins today. I think we'll see a relatively dry tomorrow, but Friday, more of those widespread showers. We do have a wet roadway down there into Meadville, or Bob Ferrando World Camp. 57 right now with those yellow bars continuing on. That brief showers pass through the Meadville area, but we've seen a few more of them developing off to the west as well. Weather impact, showery this morning, breezy conditions developing as well. As we head for the afternoon, we'll actually break into some sunshine, but that'll kind of set our stage for the potential for some evening storms, likely seeing a widespread kind of line of storms working through the region. Scattered showers to pick up this morning right near 58 degrees. I'd say pretty much a 50-50 shot. You'll be seeing those drops coming on down. As we head for drop-off, those rain chances actually a little bit lower, only about 30% mild with an isolated storm possible. Temperature up to about 70 degrees. Then after that is when we'll see those precip chances be on the increase once more. High temperature 70 into Erie, 67 northeast, 68 up into Dunkirk. Some of the higher elevations, Bradford, Jamestown, likely sitting in those low to mid 60s. Not a whole lot of sunshine expected for you, but where the temperatures are the greatest and we see the most sunshine, does mean we have the most potential for those evening storms. I'll time that out with Futurecast and all that full 7-day forecast, both coming up right after the break.
And we're going beast mode when Erie News Now Sunrise returns. No Marshawn Lynch. Is a cat not too amused that they had to be rescued by firefighters? That's part of your trending news straight ahead.
And speaking of animals, it's Wednesday, so we've got a visit from Toffee. Toffee's looking for her forever home, still ahead on Erie News Now Sunrise.
now, First Warning Weather with AJ Mastrangelo.
Weather aware on this Wednesday, AJ. Not so much for this morning, a little rain coming through, but it's what we could potentially be seeing later on tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of like a three-course meal. We got the appetizer this morning, a couple of showers around, but the main course going to be beautiful. And we're talking about that sunshine this afternoon, but that dessert, not going to be good. I don't know what don't you like for a dessert?
I don't know.
I like
bad
most
creme
desserts,
brulee or something like that.
Bad
Bad creme brulee.
Bad creme brulee, that's what we'll call it here for the evening when we start to see that severe storm threat on the increase. All seriousness, was a gorgeous day yesterday. 64-hour high temperature, 44-hour low. Both those a little bit above our averages for this time of year. Record 82 that was set back in 2002. Our record low 21 set back in the 1800s. Happening right now, a little bit of some movement with our Sam Catania painting cam. It's a sign of those southerly winds starting to ramp up just a touch. Current winds right now at the airport only east-southeast, 9 miles per hour. 59 degrees our temperature, light rain shower activity being reported. Our pressure has gone down already quite a bit from yesterday. We have these prefrontal showers right now. The main cold front will surge in later on, and that's where we'll see that storm threat really start to increase. That center of low pressure just to the south of Minneapolis. You can see all of the showers and the winds converging up there. Closer look at Doppler Max this morning, showcasing some heavier showers just north of the Jamestown area. Corey starting to see that as well, but take a look at this line that's starting to develop in western Erie, western Crawford County, a little bit more in the way of some yellows and oranges. So expect more of a steady rain here through the morning hours, likely putting those precip chances up here for your bus stop, your dog walk over the next hour or so. We'll continue to see more of that kind of steady rain. The showers taper. We head through the middle of the day, but it's 2-3 p.m. where we're breaking into more of that pure sunshine. You can see the clouds off to the east, setting the stage for that line of storms to work on through. And it will be a nasty line. 6-7 p.m. That's really when we start to see more of those heavier showers and storms working through the region. Damaging wind gusts, potential for some hail, even the low chance of a quick spin up here will not be out of the question. We head for tomorrow afternoon. We're breaking into more of that sunshine. Friday does welcome more showers here. Those clear out just in time for the weekend. Future rainfall amounts could be closer to half an inch, maybe over an inch, as we do see that line of storms work on through the region. Locally heavier amounts, locally less amounts will be possible as well. 70 today, 58 we head for tomorrow. Same deal for Friday. Better chance of rain, though, here for the last day of the work week. We head for the weekend, a breezy but clearer forecast here for Saturday and Sunday. We're keeping that sunshine Monday. Temperatures rise Tuesday, as do the rain chances.
6:15 on our Wednesday. Over the next couple of days, volunteers are going to be releasing nearly 1.3 million walleye fingerlings, as they're called, into Presque Bay.
This morning, we take a live look along Erie's bayfront, and that's where the Sons of Lake Erie release those walleyes. Look at that beautiful skyline this morning. Of course, there are a lot of them released each year, and the Sons receive those walleye eggs from the Pymatuning Fish Hatchery. The eggs are stored in jars for several weeks until they hatch, and according to the Sons, once released, only 8 to 10% of the fish are expected to survive. And while that sounds low, the organization expects to once again be a great season for walleye fishing.
It is a question of just trying to do some input into the bay. We hope that the walleye fry, having hatched in the bay water, the ones that do survive will stay in the bay, or if they do go out in the lake, they'll come back into the bay.
According to hatchery manager Jack Bach, it takes up to 5 years for the fingerlings to reach 15 inches, which is the legal size to keep.
That's what I'm interested in. How long before? Yeah, they're big enough. All right, coming up, what would you do if you saw an elephant? Yeah, just walking down the road as you drove by. This is not Photoshop, folks. Yeah, it's an elephant on the loose in the trend. Next on Erie News Now Sunrise. Back with you at 6:18. Time to go trending on our Wednesday. We are just about 100 days out from the opening ceremony of the Paris Summer Olympic Games. The venues over in France, they're all gearing up to welcome the world's biggest sporting event come summer.
Yeah, Paris will have 15 competition venues for the Olympic Games. They'll host 21 of the 32 Olympic sports in and around some of the most iconic monuments. And France's capital will showcase its world-famous architecture, art, and history to millions of people expected to attend some events at the Games.
Yeah, so the Eiffel Tower going to kind of be the backdrop of all of the Olympic Games coming up in the summer. The Games going to bring together 10,000 athletes from some 200 plus countries. Wow. And just weeks later, Paris is going to play host to the Paralympic Games as well. NBC is set to air unprecedented Olympic coverage with the opening ceremonies set for July 26th. Again, 100 days away.
I love the opening ceremonies. I know you love all the events.
Yeah,
what's your
favorite, action, right? Summer games, I'm like a baseball guy. I love the track stuff, and sometimes they've had golf in the games. I don't know if they're doing it this year, so I'll keep an eye on exactly what events are going to be taking part. They'll be taking part in. But anything that I've played in the past, I like to see the Olympic athletes going.
That makes sense. So trending this morning as well, some folks in Montana couldn't believe what they were seeing on Tuesday. I still can't make sense.
Yeah, that's because they were seeing this. A circus elephant kind of broke loose, was wandering the streets. Yeah, some pictures of this elephant named Viola. That makes it a little bit easier when you know she's named Viola. Eating grass behind a business. The manager at the Butte, Montana Civic Center, where the circus was taking place, says the elephant was getting ready for a show, got spooked by a vehicle, but the elephant didn't get too far.
Yeah, apparently
Where's
she
the
walked
baby elephant
about.
walk music in the background?
I don't
know. Right? I don't know.
Well, she walked about a half a block before the elephant's handlers corralled her and put her back into her trailer. And she wasn't hurt. I cannot even imagine being one of the passersby, though, going, what is happening?
Or, the officers trying to call that back into headquarters.
Oh, yeah.
Suspect pursuit. Weighs about 10 tons. Thankfully, everybody's seemingly okay there. But this next animal story is a little bit different.
It is finally trending. A cat going viral thanks to its perturbed expression.
You did that pretty well. Firefighters over in England called to rescue this curious cat trapped between two walls. They then posted the picture of the cat and its rescuer to social media. Rescuer, all smiles. Cat, not so much. The expression on this kitty's face really has folks talking. Grumpy cat says, hold my beer, I suppose. But
that cat has had a day. You can tell the cat rather unimpressed with the entire ordeal. Which, I mean,
a classic contrast in those two faces for sure. All right, hey, Seamus Strangell's got the latest on this severe weather that we are facing the possibility of a little bit later on today, and I suppose good timing with Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Yeah, good time to just be aware.
Yeah, certainly. And that cat face is probably most people's face when they talk about what we got going on, or when I talk about what we got going on for later today. Severe Weather Week kind of aligning with that severe weather potential for this evening. So let's talk about the Storm Prediction Center. They're an agency down in Norman, Oklahoma that kind of helps put out these severe weather outlooks. They're associated with the National Weather Service, NOAA as well. So understanding these severe weather outlooks, we talk about all these different categories. Today, we're in the marginal risk here for much of northwest Pennsylvania, but that slight risk, that's a 2 out of 5. Of course, as we get higher and higher with that storm coverage, the risk of severe storms also becomes more prevalent. Enhanced, moderate, high risk, not something we typically do see across the region, but those are very elevated risk and nonetheless something we need to take seriously. So today, that level 2 out of 5 is out there towards the Cleveland area. We got the level 1 out of 5 here, but even parts of western Erie County are in that 2 out of 5. So we're talking about isolated, short-lived storms, but likely we'll be seeing a line of them pushing through as we head for our dinner time. We'll talk more about that coming up at 6:30.
Wrong with the monitor. Time for another Wet Nose Wednesday.
Yeah, Kara Jackson from the Humane Society in-house, and special guest along with her, and this is
She's
Toffee.
holding my hands.
She is holding. Oh, look at
The
it. Oh, it's love at first
We're
sight.
making friends here this morning. Because Toffee, Kara was a little shy coming through the door.
She is definitely a little timid girl. She's about 6 months old. She came in through our cruelty division with 5 other siblings, I want to say, and her parents. So she was adopted out recently, I'd say about a month ago, and brought back to the shelter. I think she just kind of was a little bit overwhelmed with kids.
Yeah.
So she's back with us looking for a new home today.
She is so sweet. I mean,
She
she is
is.
holding onto my arm. It does not get better.
She is timid at first, but once she gets to like know her surroundings and know you, she just falls in love and she just loves
I mean,
to
this
snuggle.
took like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
max,
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Not even.
A commercial break, so how long is that, right?
Yeah.
But when we saw her came through the door, yeah, the ears were kind of down, like in that one picture there, maybe a little bit shy. But she was very curious, taking a look at the studio. So I think kind of as we quick to adapt.
Yep, she's quick to adapt, and she's going to be not much bigger than this. I mean, she's around 6 months now, so I don't anticipate her to be much bigger. And she's a pit bull Shetland sheepdog mix, so she's got a lot of different kind of mixes in her. But overall, her temperament, she wants to be with another dog. So if someone has another dog, she loves it. That is kind of how she is going to function well in a home with another sibling animal. Probably, she did live in a home with cats too, so she was fine with cats. Just the kid thing, we're gonna say no kids.
Okay.
Just because of.
She's sweet.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody does have kids and they're looking for a pet, you've got plenty.
We have plenty of animals, so definitely come in and see. But I just think with just her nature and her temperament, with being so timid, it's probably safe just to keep her, in a home with no kids. But she really, look at her, she's so sweet. And she just wants affection. So even at the shelter, we have her behind the front desk, and she just wants to jump on your lap, and she wants to snuggle. And she loves car rides. So all around a perfect puppy. Just needs a little bit of time to get used to you, and she'll kind of snuggle right in.
2 to 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, easily.
She'll be used to.
We are proof that can be done. Yeah, exactly.
She's a little lover. So she did have 5 other siblings with her, and they're all the same kind of temperament, super sweet.
So there you go. If you don't perhaps make Toffee a part of your home, you've got some other chances.
Yes.
Thanks
we sure
for
do.
sharing
Yeah,
her,
no, she's awesome. I'm glad we could bring her today.
So, Kara, for folks who may not know how it all works, quickly give us the
you can stop in the shelter and you can do an application when you come in before you can meet her. Or if you want to do a pre-approval, you can do that as well, which you can go on our website, www.eriehumanesociety.org, and fill out an application and then get your application in. And if you're approved, you can come meet her today.
I love it.
And we're open till 5 today. So.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to do the rest of the newscast holding hands.
Yeah. All right. That sounds like a plan. Yeah, Toffee.
So it's a great way to start your day.
It is.
Very well said, Kara.
Look at her.
Coming back with more of Erie News Now Sunrise after this quick break.
Start composting. Food waste and tree clippings in community landfills generate methane and other gases that impact Mother Earth. You can safely compost all food scraps, including paper, except meat.
This is Erie News Now.
Well, it's a weather-aware day. It's pretty comfortable out there at this hour, and the temperatures aren't so bad, but the rain's going to be there.
Yeah, certainly. And when you head outside this afternoon, you'll be like, oh, it's 70, sunny, and beautiful afternoon. But all we're kind of really doing is building some daytime heating that could fuel some storms later on. So a couple of showers, might need that raincoat, the umbrella. We head for the bus stop. Despite some of the mild temperatures, we see some breaks through the middle of the day into the afternoon, and then those storms do return once more as we continue towards around 4 or 5 p.m. for western areas, closer to around 7, 8 p.m. for our immediate region. 59 degrees our temperature, Mill Creek, Upper Peach Street. 7 a.m. got one red bar, more of these showers, then we clear out a touch through the middle of the day. Temperatures already above our average high temperature for this time of year. Steady rain kind of evolving off to our west. Girard, Edinburgh into it right now. Have seen some more downpours towards the Oil City area. If we look west of Ashtabula, still some yellows and more of this kind of darker shade of green, so more of a persistent rain will be possible through the region. Rain showers being reported into Erie. It's 68 over in Cleveland, so we'll tap into more of that warmth as we continue through the afternoon, especially with that sunshine and more of these southerly winds. 5 miles per hour into Meadville, 8 over in Cleveland. I do expect these winds to kind of ramp up just a touch as we head for the second half of the day. Here is our day planner at that. Few showers, 8 a.m. More of them we head for noontime as the sun starts to peek on out. We're up towards 70 for 4 p.m. ahead of the evening storm threatening. You can see those winds about 10, 15 miles per hour. I'll have more on those precip chances and high temperatures coming up in just a short few minutes.
Let's check our top stories, beginning in New York City, where that jury selection process is going to get back to it tomorrow. A break for court action today in Manhattan. The first handful of jurors, though, has been sworn in and seated for the former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in the Big Apple.
The judge says that those opening statements could begin as soon as Monday. Trump's pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts related to accusations that he financially schemed to hide an alleged affair with an adult film star ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump has denied all wrongdoing. 4 men and 3 women were seated on Tuesday. 5 more jurors and a half dozen alternates still need to be selected. Next week, the judge will also hear arguments from both sides on prosecutors' request that former President Trump be held in contempt, all for public comments he made bashing key players in the case. They say the remarks violate a gag order placed on Trump during the trial. Court will not be in session today. New this morning, President Biden heading to Pittsburgh today. So we begin with a live look at downtown Pittsburgh this morning. That's where the president will meet with workers and speak at the United Steelworkers Union headquarters this afternoon.
The president's visit to the Steel City comes on the heels of the company's stockholders' vote last week to approve that nearly $15 billion merger with Nippon Steel, Japan's biggest steelmaker. The folks at U.S. Steel say the vote was overwhelmingly in favor of approving that transaction. The president says he is committed to maintaining strong American steel companies powered by American workers. The company CEO says U.S. Steel will keep its name and remain headquartered in Pittsburgh. All right, 6:32 as we move through your Wednesday morning. A question for everybody at home. How have you been sleeping? And it seems if you're feeling tired these days, Tracy, you've got plenty of company, really all across America. A survey found that most Americans say they feel like they could benefit from getting a little bit more sleep. No big surprise there.
Not at all. Megan Zielinski actually spoke with a local sleep expert to learn more about how we can get some better rest at night, though. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Well, Mark, Tracy, let's take a look at some of this data. This is a Gallup poll survey that majority of Americans say that they're not getting enough sleep, but this graph right here actually breaks it down by the percentage of people that actually do think that they're getting enough sleep. Each line's a different age group. That highest number, 55%, not too surprising, the 65 and up, the retired individuals, but the lowest one here, only 34% of those aged 30 to 49 years old actually feel like they're getting enough sleep. So I took this data to our sleep expert, Dr. Amy Parenti, and asked her what she thought of some of these numbers, and she said she's not shocked by these results.
Mercyhurst University professor Amy Parenti specializes in sleep. She tells us that restful sleep is crucial for memory consolidation as well as body rehabilitation.
And truthfully, if there was an important function for sleep, it probably would have evolutionarily gone away. But the fact that we are super vulnerable, we're not eating, we're not reproducing, we're not finding food, all those things clearly there's a purpose for it.
Studies show that our bodies need 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep. To do so, it may be tempting to rely on sleep aids to fall asleep quickly. However, Parenti stresses that these are not meant to be relied on.
Sleep aids are often something that quiet sort of the wrong part of the brain. So it may lull you into a false sense that you're resting, but you're not really allowing your body to have that rejuvenative sleep that it needs.
Parenti says that when the sun goes down, it's time for us to start thinking about our sleep. Midnight used to be considered the middle of the night for some people, but now many of us might find us still on our phones, checking that last-minute email and watching TV, so it's time when it's dark to think about that rest. From the studio, Megan Selensky, Erie News Now.